Hi, I'm Dr. Neelam, your mindfulness coach and a transformational therapist. Today, let's talk about a one-liner. The jar is cracked. Now you all will think, what do I mean by this liner? And believe me friends, this line can be the best mantra of your life. The jar is cracked. Now let me explain this. There was once a very wealthy man, and the king gifted him a jar, a beautiful jar. People from the village, from outside the village would come and look at that jar and say, wow, what a jar, you're so lucky, you're so wealthy, you have such a beautiful jar. Nobody has that jar. This wealthy man who used to flaunt that jar, would show it to people, relish it, putting fresh flowers in it. But every now and then he would say, the jar is cracked. His wife would also sometimes think, the jar is not cracked. Why is this man saying this? That the jar is cracked. One day, the jar broke. It crashed. And because it was of glass, it completely got shattered. Friends, that is life. We never know when nature strikes. And what do? Be it our properties, our success, we show it to people. We enjoy that. But remember to tell that line on and off to yourself. The jar is cracked. There's a crack on that jar. Because we don't know when nature is going to strike. We don't know when life is going to strike. When that jar was crashed, everybody was sad except the owner of the jar. Why? Because he would tell himself, it's cracked. He enjoyed the jar. He put flowers into it, he showcased it to people, and it was wow. But at the same time, he told himself, it's cracked. So friends, that is life. Our situations, our success, our properties, our laurels are like glasses. We may save it to the fullest, but we never know when nature will strike. So what did this line mean? What did this statement mean? Whenever you are attached to something or you feel I'm too attached and I cannot live without it. Sometimes our houses, sometimes our retirement loans, various things where we have got so attached and we feel, wow, closure. I created this business, I created this house, over, completely gone. I'm happy man. May God do that. But that attachment, if nature plays, does not allow us to mentally regain our confidence. We are so comfortable in that self that we have achieved and we have that jar. We don't even think that it's cracked or it can break. And if nature strikes and it crashes or it breaks, what happens to us? We go crazy. We just don't know what happened. We had this beautiful jar. We thought it is for us for life. We do that, no friends? Oh, janam janam ka saath. This is till death. We are together. This is mine. I've completed it. I have won. Fantastic. I'm not telling you to be negative. Please understand. I'm telling you, be detached. On and off, when you are appreciated by the world, When people come and look up at you, you are an inspiration of many people for whatever you have got. Keep that one thin line, this statement in your mind. When you feel that I'm too attached to something, and if this is being taken away from me, I will not be able to survive. I will not be able to live. I can't even think of living without it. Tell yourself on and off, the jar is cracked. That means it can break any moment. I have to enjoy it. I have to experience it. That wealthy man, every time that he said, oh, that jar is cracked, what did he want? What did he mean by that? He was telling his own mind. Anybody who would have seen the jar would have seen there is no crack on that jar. But that man was telling himself when he saw his attachment to the jar, this is cracked. That means I don't need to be so attached to something, because nature can strike at any time. Life can shift this at any time. And believe me, so many times we have calculated. We have seen all pros and cons, but yet something goes wrong. And it is then we cannot handle ourselves. It is then when people can't handle us. So, that is when we say be attached, but at the same time, remember to detach yourself from something. Don't get so attached that that becomes your life and you cannot breathe if that is taken away. So friends, always keep this statement in your mind. And what is it? This jar is cracked. It's not a negative statement. It is just a humble reminder to yourself that I am getting too attached. Maybe the nature doesn't strike. Maybe it doesn't change. But with this attitude, knowing that even if this thing is changed or if this thing is taken away, I have the strength, I have the capability to move on. Because life is an experience. We all are here to experience life. We have many such vases in our life, beautiful ones. We use them daily. We relish them. But believe me, friends, it's an experience. So all the great vases that you have around you, where people come, look and say, wow, you've achieved so much. You're so lucky to have this. Remind yourself, I'm very lucky. I'm very blessed. I thank the universe. I thank myself. I thank my team. I thank everybody. But there is one single statement. The glass is cracked. It can be shattered at any time. It can break at any time. And if it breaks, what happens? Things will change. You may have to go back and recreate a new jar. For that, you will need strength. But first, you will have to accept that the jar got broken. Everything you have done is fantastically calculated. But again, I will say, life and nature, you really don't know when it strikes. It always strikes for our best. Life doesn't want us to get in a comfortable zone. It wants us to move. It wants us to experience. But that mindset of attachment to a particular thing, our ego, our pride that I have created and this can't be taken away from me, is this statement. On and off, whenever you feel, whenever you realize that I'm so attached attached that just the thought of losing this sends me fear, is at that time you will say the jar is cracked. So friends, till I come back, where are you attached? Rewire yourself, reset yourself. The jar is cracked.